Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be discussing what is the best sidearm in Red Dead Redemption 2. Firstly, we're going to be looking at the Scofield Revolver, which by all accounts is a pretty decent revolver. The Scofield Revolver is very easy to keep running. There's lots of ammo, it's everywhere, it's found on enemies, you can buy it for a very low price. And this helps keep the Scofield Revolver running, especially in the early game where you don't have much money to spend on ammo. It keeps it running and it keeps it topped up on ammo for a very low price. The damage of the Scofield Revolver was entirely sufficient for my needs. It was a 2 to 3 shot kill, which with a dual wielding revolver is completely fine. I felt that it really would work as, even in late game. As a very competent weapon. I think that the damage is just fine. The accuracy of the Scofield Revolver is very good. There's very little bloom at range, which is very useful. I think partly this is due to the gun's relatively low rate of fire. Of course, the slower you're firing, the less your character will be knocked off because of the recoil. So it's much easier to fire accurately at long range when you've got a low rate of fire like you do with the Scofield. Overall, I felt the Scofield performed excellently. It did everything I needed it to and more, and I think that it's an excellent starter weapon. And it's even very good late game, I'm talking Chapter 6 and the epilogue. Generally, I'd recommend the Scofield to anybody. Next up, we have the Mauser pistol, which is a high-capacity, high-rate-of-fire, semi-automatic pistol. Being a pistol, the Mauser takes pistol ammo, and that's relatively hard to come by early game and expensive as well. So until you get to, say, Chapter 3, I'd recommend you stay with revolvers just because they're much easier to run, but then totally move on to the Mauser because it's very good and it's very fun. The Mauser pistol's damage I felt was very poor. It took many shots to kill people. I know that if it had ridiculous damage like the Volcanic Pistol, it would be way too overpowered thanks to its fire rate, but I do think it was very poor. The Mauser's accuracy and range were also very poor. You can struggle to hit targets that are only a few feet in front of you, which is never good, to be honest. But it's not entirely a bad thing. The Mauser's rate of fire is extraordinary, probably the best in the game. And in close quarters, this thing will annihilate anything you put in front of it. It is ridiculous how much lead this thing can put down range at once. The Mauser has a 10-round magazine, which you'd think would be more than plenty, but with the amount of lead this thing puts down range, it really isn't enough. However, you do reload with clips instead of feeding bullets in one by one, so the reloads are fairly quick, which is nice. The Mauser is intended to be paired with another weapon, like a repeater, so the repeater does all the range stuff, and then the Mauser comes in and kills everyone close range, and this really does work. My recording doesn't do it justice, but that's just because I was using the Mauser, because otherwise it'd be unfair on the other pistols when I was comparing them. But give it a go yourself, it really is very good. Overall, I think the Mauser is an excellent weapon, however it is heavily flawed, and if you don't pair it with something like a repeater, you really aren't going to be getting the most out of the weapon. So I think a strong repeater and the Mausers is very unstoppable. You are set for life pretty much if you do that. Next, we're going to move on to the Volcanic Pistol, which is a high-power, low-rate-of-fire pistol unlocked. I think it's actually unlocked really early in the game, but it's not a cheap weapon, and because it's a pistol, the ammo's quite difficult to come by. So you'll probably get it around the Chapter 3, I'd say. That's when I got it. As I've already said, it's a pistol, it takes pistol ammo, that's difficult to come by, it's expensive to buy, so it's unlikely that you're going to be using this weapon early on in the game, simply because you won't be able to afford the ammo, or find the ammo. The damage on the Volcanic Pistol was exceptional. I'm talking repeater power, this thing kicks like a mule. You do not want to come across someone using this in a dark alley at night, because you just don't stand a chance. The accuracy of the Volcanic Pistol is also very good as well. You can hit targets from a very, very long range. To be honest, the Volcanic Pistol is just more of a repeater in most regards than it is a pistol. So, which is a mixed bag, because that means you can take things that aren't repeaters for your long arm, but on the other hand, if you ended up taking a repeater, it'd be sort of wasted because you've got Volcanic Pistols instead. The Volcanic Pistol has 8 rounds in the magazine, which is more than adequate considering your low rate of fire. Like, it is going to be extremely rare that you will empty an entire magazine without having time to reload in between killing people. Overall, I think the Volcanic Pistol is exceptional. I genuinely think that it is amazing, and whilst it's not great at everything, it's certainly a very good choice.